Um, so I'm Sophie Thwaites, helping your child get back into their body and ready to learn. I typically work with children aged between 8 and 12 years old, mainly online at the moment, who are struggling to read, write, sit still, and coordinate their body. I help to find the source of their challenges and then through the use of movement-based exercises, help to permanently reduce them for long-lasting changes. So my passion really lies in helping children unlock their true potential by creating smoother connections between the brain and the body through movement. Our first language, we're going to go right back to the beginning, okay? So our first language as children is movement. And every single movement that we make and all those milestones that we reach as babies have a huge impact on how we learn, how we coordinate our body, and how we communicate, how we interact with the environment, and also how we show up as adults. Now, the first few years of life, I'm talking starting from conception, play a really vital role in creating and establishing a solid foundation for further development. But if these connections are not correctly formed at the right time or in the right order, can actually significantly impact a child's later development. Now, if for any reason certain brain and body connections are not made during this period, we can actually create them later in life through specific movement programs, ensuring that the child develops these strong foundations crucial for all areas of life. So that's it in a nutshell. Now, the theory behind this lies in primitive reflexes. I don't want to bombard you with jargon, but essentially primitive reflexes are a group of motor reflexes found in newborn babies. I'm just going to repeat that again. Okay, so primitive reflexes are a group of motor reflexes found in newborn babies, such as the startle reflex, which you may well all know about and recognize from when your babies, when they are very, very young, a few weeks old, they sort of open up their arms and legs and startle. Now, these reflexes actually develop within the womb and are essential in the birthing process as they actually help the newborn move down the birth canal, take its first breath, and support its early survival. They instinctively enable us to perform certain tasks such as feeding, grasping, and responding to danger, and then later to lifting our head, rolling, crawling, and eventually walking. All being well, the primitive reflexes should be fully inhibited and integrated within the body by the age of 1. Now, they don't disappear completely in case you have a stroke or an illness later on in life where actually you need to relearn those basic movements again, so then they sort of kick in again. But if these reflexes are not suppressed in the first year, they can actually interfere with subsequent motor development and visual functioning needed for reading, hand-eye coordination, which is needed for writing, and perceptual skills as well. One of the reasons I can speak so passionately about this program is actually because I have personal experience of actually doing it myself when I was 16 years old. So for years, I had struggled with my writing, reading, concentration, retaining information, coordination, and confidence. I was assessed for my suitability and was soon set up on a 12-month program where I was required to do a specific set of exercises which mirrored those early movements carried out as a baby for 5 to 10 minutes every day, which changed every few weeks. The changes I experienced over the course of the year were gradual, but after my family and I looked back on who I was before the 12-month program and after, we realized actually the changes were amazing and they were astonishing. My grades had improved, my handwriting was a lot neater, my ability to concentrate and retain information was better. My general coordination and balance had improved, and I was no longer a shy and introverted girl. And was really grounded as well, I guess. That was the biggest part of what changed in my life. Now, over the years, I've witnessed some really incredible transformations and long-lasting changes in every child I work with, including confidence growth, improved writing, easier reading, better coordination. So the program is really simple, yet it's really amazingly powerful, because it works from the source of the challenges, actually creating a more solid foundation from which essentially everything else falls into place. So I'm just going to draw you a quick picture here, actually, just to visualize what I've been talking about. So if you can imagine, I'm going to draw this in pink, actually. So I'm going to take me as the example. Okay, so I am the tree. Oh, we've got someone else joining us. So imagine, so a child or myself, I'm the tree, okay? Now, the challenges I had, for example, when I was a child, we're going to have these as the branches. So my challenges lay with my handwriting, my reading, and my coordination. So to help me with my writing, before these exercises, these techniques that I'm talking about today, I had support around my writing, such as writing utensils or boards that raised the piece of paper up so that it was easier for me to write on. I had, for reading, I just had much easier reading, or I had reading coloured overlays so that the writing was the background was a slightly different colour, which helped the letters pop a bit more. And when it came to coordination, to be honest, I just didn't do much sport because I wasn't very good at it. I was not very coordinated, so I just avoided it. But when it came to these challenges, this support system over here for my writing and my reading, as soon as that was taken away, all of these challenges still remained, and they helped just very much temporarily. So the techniques that I'm talking about today, we're actually working at this root system down here. And by working at this root system down here, it infiltrates all the way up. And because you're working at this foundation level, you're not talking about quick fixes that you get up here. You're talking about long-lasting changes to help a child for not only the next 6 months, the next year, we're talking 10 years, we're talking the rest of their life. And I can say this with confidence from my own experience and from the children that I have worked with over the years. So just as a couple of little examples, I recently worked with a young boy who was 9 years old, and when he first came to see me was massively struggling with his reading and was 3 or 4 years behind his peers at school. So his parents were really tearing their hair out and they didn't know what to do. They were trying all sorts of different things and nothing was working. After a few months, and actually the full sort of year of being on the programme, the changes were phenomenal. His reading wasn't quite at the level of his peers, but it had jumped up 2 years in just those few months. And the school was amazed at the change in him as well, and it was far greater, the change, than they had expected. And now reading is an enjoyable part of his daily life, which is fantastic and a lot easier on not only himself but also his family as a whole as well. And another boy I actually finished working with last week. He is 14 years old, and when we first started working together a year ago, he was really struggling with confidence. Only went into school about 3 days out of a whole term, and really lacked with that confidence with not only his peers but also with the teachers at school as well. Now, he recently, in the past, well, before obviously lockdown, before Christmas, he was attending school nearly every single day, and instead of only going to school 3 times in the whole term, he was now only missing 2 or 3 days in that whole term. So it was a huge shift for him, and he was also having improvements with his sensory challenges as well, with where it came to sort of hot and cold water, and also his socks and his reading and his writing, and also his coordination. So for him it was a real dramatic change. Anyway, perhaps something that some of the stories I've shared with you, or perhaps when I've talked about the foundations and where this is rooted from, perhaps some of this resonates with some of you. So if it does, please do unmute yourself and ask any questions you might have, because this is my time here to be able to talk to you about anything that you have, any questions that you have. So I can put it back to you. Does anyone have any questions about what I've been talking about?
I'm going to start.
Hi, John.
But this is me like sort of asking on behalf of other parents out there who might have this question. So do you work with children who, let's say, are nonverbal or have learning disabilities?
Yeah, so it would depend. So I'd have to talk to a parent individually, because there are different factors. If through just a 10-minute conversation on the phone, we can quite quickly ascertain not only the suitability for the child for the program, but also whether they'd actually be able to engage with the program. Because if they're not going to be able to engage with it and actually carry out the movements, then we're not going to get very far. but just by me asking a few questions, we can really quickly ascertain that. So yeah, great question. And when it comes to non-verbal, I have worked with children before who have really struggled with communicating. They have spoken a little bit, but it's been very limited. And actually I worked with a girl a few years ago, and it really actually started to bring it out of her, because for her anyway, for that particular girl, I think it was related to these primitive reflexes, and she needed some changes, some neurological changes to go on for her to be able to connect with her voice again.
Thank you. Janine or Hakima, do you have any questions?
No.
Hi, really sorry. I missed most of it. I had internet connections and I couldn't find my password. So
when did you join in, Janine?
I only got the last little bit. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. So this is also being recorded, Janine. So you can always look back on it. And basically, I'm talking about retained primitive reflexes. So I think Jordan's going to post this onto the Facebook page later on. So feel free to go back and listen to it, because I don't want, for Hakima's sake, to go over it all again. But
no, that's brilliant. Yeah, thank you.
Check it out, and then if you have any questions, then please do feel free to reach out.
Thank you.
Any questions from Hakima? No.
No.
Okay.
No worries.
So one thing I would like to offer, not only you two, but also other people listening now. So it's normally just for people present, but because we don't have that many people present sort of live with us at the moment, I'm going to extend the offer. But basically, just before Christmas, I became a best-selling co-author of a book that I co-authored last year called Confidence. So I wrote a chapter in this book, and is full of other really useful tips and guidance of lots of other expertise in their field, lots of different fields. So it's not just occupational therapy, because that's my particular field. Really fantastic book. So I'd like to offer this. So the first 3 people that text me their address and email, I will send this out to them. So this obviously just keeps going until we've got those 3 people. So even if you are listening to this a little bit later on, Jordan, perhaps you can write my details as well on the post, my number and my email address, so people can contact me. But I'd like to offer that as my first gift to you. My second gift to anyone who's listening is someone else now. My second gift to anyone listening is I have an e-booklet of movement-based exercises. Now, they are different than the ones I've been talking about today, but they can be really helpful. They're just general movement-based exercises that can help the child increase their body awareness, increase their coordination, which ultimately can end up helping with their writing, their reading, their body awareness, and sort of how they turn up in the world as well. So again, if you are interested in that and receiving that, I'm currently giving out for free. It's worth £90, but I'm currently giving it out for free. So again, if you are interested in receiving that, then please do send me a text message with your email address on it, and I shall send that over to you.
Sophie, are you able to send me a link to your book? Do you have like an online link where people can know more about it?
Yeah, I mean it's on Amazon, but if people, I will send you that link. I've just put my details on the chat. I will, yeah, I'll send you that link to the Amazon link. Yeah.
Thank you. Rachel, I'm just conscious you've just arrived, you've just joined us, but we're actually finished. But no worries, because we recorded a session and we're gonna post it on YouTube and on Facebook. So
okay, so hi, sorry, I just had an urgent meeting with school about an issue. So, you know, you just sort of have to take it, don't you, when they go, we can talk now. I'm like, okay, let's talk now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sorry.
It's the parent carer life, so totally understand.
Yeah. do you yeah. So I don't know whether yourself, Rachel, or Janine came on to listen today because you'd heard of primitive reflexes and had any specific questions about that, or perhaps it's better just to rewatch the video and then if you have any further questions, then you can get in touch.
Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you. Sorry I'm late.
So I don't know if there's no more questions. Well, there's a question from Janine on chat.
You just need to text me your address. That's all. Your name and your address. Okay. And if you're getting quick, then you can be the first 3 people. So Rachel, you might have missed that last bit. So I had two gifts to give away today. One was I co-authored a book on confidence last year that just came out just before Christmas, and I'm gifting this away to the first 3 people who text me their address today, or if you're listening later on, then you can also send it to me later. And also the e-booklet, which again you can text me your email address and I will send you an e-booklet which is full of movement-based exercises which can really help learning. They are not the ones that we've been talking about today, because they're very specific and you need sort of to be on a specific program for that. But these ones they're fun exercise that you can just integrate into playtime, I guess, really with your children.
Great, thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, Sophie. Yeah. So
okay.
Shall we close the session, or
yeah,
does anyone else have questions?
Thank you very much.
All right, Janine.
Thank you so much.
Janine and Rachel, you can look back watch it back.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Again, thank you.
Will the video be emailed, to us, or is it on your website, or?
We're going to post it on our YouTube channel and on Facebook.
Okay.
I can email it as well to those who booked if you booked via Eventbrite, I can email it to everyone.
I think that would be a good idea, that the people that missed it, because just like Rachel happened to Rachel, I think lots of people just life catches up with you.
Gets in the way. Totally understand. So
I
will do that.
That would be a good idea. Send it to some people, and then they can watch it at their own convenience.
And again, thank you so much, Sophie, for reaching out to us.
Well, get in touch if you want to learn more, and look forward to hearing from some of you.
See you guys.
Well, thank you. Bye.
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 Bye.